Today's series, we're going to be using two different props to feel the differences between how they work, even though they can do similar things with the same exercise. So make sure you've got yourself an inflatable ball and you've got yourself a roller. So we're going to start in a moment now, as Bear leaves my lap, into one of our favorite moves, which is going to be a movement of a chest expansion. So we're going to start with the roller placed behind the back of your spine, so around about the shoulder blade level. And I always like to tell people your body, it will tell you exactly whether you're in the right position or not. So you'll feel it as long as it's not in your lower back area. You've got your hands laced behind the base of your skull. And then we're going to go for a nice stretch over the roller's edge and then curling yourself up and away. Now, as you do this, keep the elbows still in your peripheral vision and making sure that your head is well supported as you're coming up and down. So this motion we're doing is what we call a chest lift. And as we do it, we're working through the front line of our body, so our abdominal line from our chest bone down towards our pubic bone. But we're also getting the benefit here of having the lengthening going over into what we call a passive extension. So that's pretty cool. From here, we're going to go into a rotation. So we're going to twist towards one side and then go over the edge and curl yourself up again. And then again, lengthening over and back and coming up. We'll do one more time on this side, just staying on the same angle as you go back and forth. And then we're going to rotate and face in the opposite direction. And again, back over, getting a nice stretch and come forward. So you may notice in your own body that one side feels very different to the other. That's very normal in the way we live our lives. And then last time backward and then returning towards the front. From here, we're going to remove the roller and we're going to replace it with the small ball. So again, same sort of position in that upper back area and hands behind your head. We travel over the ball surface and then nod the head and shoulders forward. So what you'll feel as a difference is this is softer. So if you're someone who doesn't like a firm pressure into the back of you, well, then maybe the ball is the better version for you. You're still getting really good mobility and great feedback for your spine. Pause at the top and let's rotate and do this movement again, backward and over. And this time I'm going to rotate and change to the opposite way. So there's benefit in doing something the same side all the time, or there's also great benefit in doing it in alternating sides. So it doesn't really matter which one, they are both beneficial for you. We've got a nice one to go to each direction. And then what we're going to do is we're going to remove the ball, but not until we're done, of course, and then lie yourself completely on the mat. So now if you didn't have any props, this is where we would be at. So we're starting, this time the only difference is you don't get that extra extension, but you've got that same feeling of curling your body up and down. So I like to just encourage people to think this isn't an ab crunch exercise. Focus on your mobility of your spine, feeling the backbones opening up as your head and chest are curling forward, your front ribs closing down, and then returning back to your neutral alignment. So again, like a little accordion, feel the front ribs closing down, the back ribs are opening up, and then they reverse. Now, instead of starting at the top, we'll start at the bottom, and we're going to come up and over into your cross. So moving into your diagonal, and like I did with the ball, I'm going to choose to change my direction with every motion. So you could keep your elbow on the floor and do your twist across, or you could lift your elbow with you. I like the elbow on the floor, it just gives you a better base to sort of stabilize against, and then resting out of there. We're going to stay with no prop as we bring our arms back down towards the floor and just move your feet in a little closer. Next favorite, of course, is bridging. So we're going to raise the hips up into the air and then lowering the hips back down. And we're just going to do 3 of them. And again, peeling the hips up and lowering them back down. So when you don't have any props, of course, movement is fantastic. But when you have these small apparatuses close by, they make such an enhancement to the movement. So from here, we're going to grab that ball again. We're going to place the ball between the knees. Now, why would we do that as we come up and down? Well, it's going to give you feedback for where your legs need to stay. So often if you're doing bridging and your knees are drifting out to the side, then your alignment of your structures are not good. So the activation of your muscles are not in their optimum or prime positions. balance. One more time as we go up and then coming all the way back down again. From here, we're going to change tools and we're going to use the roller, and we're going to place the roller underneath our feet. So making it a little bit more challenging, find the arches of your feet for your roller, and then again coming up. So two things are happening here. One, there's an unsteady surface underneath your feet, as you'll feel. The other is that you're on a curved surface. That wasn't what I was asking, but the thing I'm really interested in is that your hips are going to go higher because your feet have been elevated off the ground. So if you're someone who struggles with doing bridging from the floor and not clearing your bottom easily, if you put your foot on something, even if it was a steady surface, then you're going to get much more action out of all of that. All right, so all of those are done. So we're going to keep the roller at our feet, and we're going to send the arms all the way back behind you, taking a breath in. We're going to roll the head and shoulders forward, and as you come up, you can hold the backs of the legs if you need to, but we're going to roll that roller away and sit you up, and then we're going to roll back down again, bend the knees and pull the roller in. And then again, as we curl ourselves all the way forward and lift, and then lowering ourselves back and drawing the feet in. We have one more to go like this as we curl our way through and stretch all the way out. Coming back down, we're going to change again as we use a different tool. So move the roller away and then bring the ball back in. It's a very similar movement, but we're going to do it with our knees in the air just for a moment as we grab a hold of the backs of the legs. Nod the head and shoulders forward as you curl yourself all the way up into your sit and come to tall shape. Now, some of you may find this motion a lot easier to do than the one that we did previously. So stay with that as your version if you would like. Otherwise, what we're going to do is do what we did with the roller. Put your feet onto the ball, but this time we're going to start with the legs out long and the ball resting at your heels. Arms are all the way back behind you. Nod your head forward, roll your spine all the way up and bring yourself up into sitting. And you'll feel there's a little lift of your feet, and that's normal. Rolling yourself back down and lengthening your spine long. We'll do one more time like that, whatever version you are doing, and curl yourself all the way up towards the top, and then bringing yourself all the way back and down towards the floor. All right, from here we've got no tool at all, and the arms are back over, and then again coming all the way up into your starting position. And then lowering yourself back and down. Hopefully there's no one in the way behind you as you lie down, and then curling up. So whatever version was best for you, this one is the most challenging of all. So that's why these tools are so adaptable to suit your body. If you didn't have the ability to be in a studio like I have here, where you can use springs to assist you through movement. From here, let's take it into a kneeling position. So onto all fours shape. And before we use anything, let's use our hands only. So into a quadruped position, almost. We're going to take our right hand and thread it through, going into a twist of your spine. Now, maybe your elbow gets or shoulder gets to the floor, maybe it doesn't, does not matter to me. And then coming back up. What matters to me is that you don't force your body into something that it does not have capacity to go to yet. And again, one more time each side as we stretch through, getting a good rotation, and then to the other side. So from here, we grab a hold of the ball again, and we place it between our two sets of limbs. Rolling the ball away just gives you a different feeling of where to take your body to. We'll stay on the same side just for ease of reference. And then we're going to alternate over to the other side. So 2 times with this version today. Twist and return, and then twist and return. From here, we'll remove the ball and we'll bring in our roller. So our roller is going to go on the lengthened side of our mat. And then again, as we bring ourselves down, we've got, in this case, my left hand is staying steady and my right palm is on the roller as I go into the same twist. So depending on where the apparatus is placed will give your body different feedback for what's happening and where to feel the movement. We'll change the roller to the other side. I know I'm going through this pretty quickly, but with all the different variations we're doing, you're still going to be getting a good sort of solid 6 or 7 or so moves in each position. And then it's up to you, whichever one that you really prefer or don't prefer is maybe the one that you can go for next. All right, so we're going to take our roller out in front of us now. And as we do, we're lying onto our front body. You're going to have it so that you've got space for it to move. I like to put my forearms about the first third or so onto the edge, and then letting my head stay low, and then letting the shoulders come up to my ears, slide the shoulders down as my chest comes up. I'm rotating my thumbs to the ceiling. It feels great for me. If it doesn't feel like that for you, then don't worry about the spiral. And again, lifting the chest up into an upper back extension, and then lowering yourself down. And we'll do that one more time, bringing yourself up and lowering yourself back down. So the exercise, of course, here is about extension of your spine. The ball is now going to come below your chest bone into your abdominal area, and again, lying yourself over the top. Choose the arm variation that works for you. Right angle arm, hands at your side, palms behind you, doesn't matter. I'm going to start gentle here. And then again, just lifting into the upper back area as though you're peeling away from the ball, and then lowering down. So if you're someone whose arms overhead produces tension in your spine, don't do that version. Do these versions instead. They're going to be as beneficial for your spine, and they're going to be really lovely to not overwork your upper back and shoulder area. Remove the ball, and then we're into our free form. So hands again at your side position, or even slide them out if you prefer. So from there, we're going to be bringing you up. Again, can we go to just the lower part of your ribs touching the mat today, and down. And again, peeling up. So we're working your upper back muscles. And then last time as we lead you up and bring you down. From here, we're going to push you up onto all fours. And as we do, we'll find that set up with hands and knees under shoulders and hips. From this position, it's opposite arm and leg. So our quadruped slide and pulling back. And then opposite sides, reach and return. Whenever we do these moves, you want to make sure that you're staying nice and strong in your foundation limbs and not sort of collapsing in between. We'll go one more time each side as we go long on the diagonal line, making sure your head is not dropped down. You feel very strong and powerful, but also light with the back of your head position. From here, it gets a little bit more challenging. We're going to put one hand onto the ball surface. So make sure you don't pull back into your wrist, but it's almost a sort of curving over the top of the ball shape. So you'll feel one hand is higher than the other. So I want you to just first float so that the fingertips are light on fingertip touch. And we're going to move the same arm and leg out and in and out and in. And then one more time out and in. Switch the hand position over. Again, feel the cupping of the ball. Get light onto the other one. So you'll notice the upper body comes higher than it was before. Your knees are now a little more forward of your buttocks just to accommodate the new position of your spine. And last one, and then bringing it in. You could, of course, put this even underneath your knee, but for the use of today, we're going to take the roller and place that underneath your knees. So right at the top of your shin bone is where we balance, and then we've got our hands on the floor. So now the opposite has happened. Your pelvis has come up and your upper body is where it is. And we find our long lined position, out with the arm and the leg, and out with the arm and the leg. We've got two more times each side, remembering the sort of moving away, the holding and the returning is all part of the concentration of the movement. You don't want to sort of get to the end and then collapse back down. You want to bring everything back with the same amount of control as you took it away. Holding and returning. One more time each side. And then bringing it all the way back. Can't remember if that was even or not. Anyway, what it is the end of our session. I hope you enjoyed playing with the different pieces. So whether you are only using your mat surface, which is still a fantastic way of getting movement into your body, or if you're using additional props, Know that they all do very similar things, but that some things feel nicer in your body, some feel more challenging, and it doesn't matter. Your nervous system enjoys and thrives on variation. So switch it up all the time. And with that, we're out.